So NVIDIA earnings is going to be happening tomorrow after hours, 28th, Wednesday. And so as I record this video, Tuesday evening, as you can see, NVIDIA currently trading at 128.30 here. And just kind of seeing the construction of recent movement here, as you can see. Recently we've lost the you can see that my microterm and short-term moving average right here. That's a microterm, that aqua squiggly line. Microterm is acting as a resistance here, and finally we lost the short term, and this was a recent downturn. You see the down gap, bulls trying to get back up quickly. That short term was right there, microterm coming down. So once you lose the microterm and the short term, you sort of tell yourself, okay, you know what, the microterm short term moving averages, they're declining. We lost it, we're not able to hold above it. So then the micro short term, the sentiment is what? Bearish. And things got really hectic here. You can see for NVIDIA, because again, that micro short term has been fully reprogrammed to support the sellers. So you can see we come down rather quickly and we see a quick pop. You see the micro to short term, micro and the short term, they're both acting as resistance, and you can see how quickly that thing fell down, right? See that upper wick, boom, 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 right? We found support here, and then what happened? The micro and the short-term moving averages were reclaimed right about here.
Perfect.
Right? You see the midterm, that's a blue dotted moving average. You see how that midterm is definitely acting as an important pivot. Is a lower wick, upper wick, upper wick, upper wick. There is even lower wick here. And you see that we stayed down here for an entire week or so. And what happened was, what was really important though, was that we finally got above this pivot right here, above the midterm. We gapped it up, and then next couple days, we held above the micro and short term. You see that micro and short term is now what? Supporting the buyers. So
perfect.
Buyers reclaimed the micro to short term again. That micro to short term was lost here. Micro to short term was reclaimed. And you can see, we see about 1 week bullish upturn. And what we're witnessing here now, you see that we're retesting that micro term here in the last several days. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of go back and see how this market, how NVIDIA reacted to this scenario, right? We see a correction, we reclaim the micro term, and then come down to retest the micro and short term, and then what happens there? And then we're gonna combine it with, especially during earning, you see that little E sign on my charting software right here. That means earnings report. So let's go here, like just previous earnings. Right here, as you can see, I think it's a pretty similar situation here, right? We see this thing right coming down. We lost the micro short term. We come back down to the midterm. We get a little fluctuation. Reclaims the micro to short term right here. Earnings coming up. What happened during the earnings, or not during the earnings, days before the earnings? It stays above the micro term, and then earnings happen, we see that upper movement. So very, very similar how this thing panned out during April and May on the previous earnings report, which it favored the buyers. As you can see, we did see that abrupt bullish run there for the next several weeks. Let's look at the other previous earnings here. So you can see this was back in what, February, late February of this year, and this was already in an uptrend. Still is a bit different than current sentiment, because currently, again, we're came down a correction. We're sort of like hanging out here. That's what today's sentiment is. This one is pretty much, we've been in an uptrend for quite some time, pull back a little bit, earnings happen, we just gapped up. So again, positive earnings reaction. Here is a little bit different. This was what? This was back in November 2023 earnings, and then really it didn't do much. But then we pull back to midterm and then zigzag and then continue to higher. Let's do a couple more here, just as a curiosity. Again, earnings here. It looks like next day we initially gapped up, but it faded. You see, so it doesn't matter. We see a gap up pre-market or at open, so people are all excited, and then it fades back down. We get back up, and it comes that you see that pullback for several weeks there. So you see that initial report, the initial reaction isn't that really important. This was what? This was back in May of 2023. Big gap up here again. We see a big gap up sideways for a week and a half. Micro term right there. Boom, 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 boom. Just writing the micro term and short term. Let's do one more. There's right here. There's an earnings report. This was with February 2023. Gapped up sideways for days, upside sideways days. So it's somewhat positive there. So looking at some of these earnings reports previously, it seems like we had higher events, more events where the market or the stock reacted in a positive way after the earnings report. We did have like one incident, when we looked at the previous earnings, there's like one time where market gapped up, faded, and then got back up and then it tanked. But every other time, market, the stock made a move to the upside, and it continued on. So I think if we can hold this micro to short term, which I think is going to going into tomorrow until close, and I think we might have a very good chance that we might have a gap up, and if we can hold that gap, again, that's earnings right here, and that's earnings right here. Again, when the NVDA goes, that oscillator can stay elevated at the top of his band at overbought for months. And you see how it did that for 2 straight months. So that overbought sentiment is a good thing, especially for a Ponzi stock like NVIDIA. But anyway, so that, short term and the shorter term it holds, we see a gap up. If we can hold for a couple of days, there's a great chance we could see some legs to the upside. America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah. If this thing don't play out, we see a big gap down, and this thing, tumbles lower heavily, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this video, and we'll just act like this video never happened.